How we doing, everybody? Tim from Ski Rex Media here once again with yet another Ski Rex Media podcast. Wonderful interview coming up on this episode. But before we get into that, let's do the shameless plug portion. Please make sure you follow, subscribe, like, share, all that stuff. Would you do that for me? I know some of you will, and I know a lot of you already subscribed. But kidding aside, please make sure you like or follow or subscribe, whichever terminology the platform you choose uses. You subscribe on YouTube, you subscribe on Rumble, you follow on Spotify, I think, and on Buzzsprout. And if you all know, that might be subscribed too. In any case, whether you're using the audio only or one of the video versions, please make sure you subscribe. That way you always know when new episodes are out. That way you're always one of the first to know when those episodes are out, and you don't have to worry about anything. It just drops right in there and you can tap it and listen to it or watch it at your convenience. Also follow Ski Rex Media on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the big three, LinkedIn if you want to do a little business, Patreon, the Ski Rex Media merch shop, skirexmediamerchshop.com, and also through skirexmedia.com, which is still getting worked on its overhaul. Believe me, I keep coming up with brand new designs for the Ski Rex Media website, and I don't like any of them. So I'm going to get it, though. I'm going to get it in the end. I will get it in the end. But beyond Ski Rex Media, we're talking today to Miss Kim Jackson from over at Vermont Adaptive Ski and Sports. You've seen me with my mask on in photos and video for Ski Rex Media. I picked that up last year. And today I finally get to talk to one of their folks because I love the idea of Vermont's Adaptive Ski and Sports. They do great work over there. They do a lot of work over there. The adaptive sports world is very interesting to me, and I hope it's interesting to you as well. Miss Jackson, Miss Kim, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Oh, God, the jokes are just getting bad today, kids. But that's all right. Kim Jackson, very nice woman, knows her stuff, has on the ball with every single question. Very interesting, very fun, very nice woman. Not only do we talk to her now, I'm sure we'll be talking to her later in the season. So since we're talking to her now, let's get on with that interview. Here we go. Kim Jackson, Vermont Adaptive Ski and Sports. Enjoy it, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks. Now, anybody watching this might be weirded out by the fact that I'm wearing a mask. Why would I wear a mask when someone else isn't in the room? Good question. For most people, it'd be a very simple question. For me, look, Vermont Adaptive Ski and Sports mask. I picked this up last season at the beginning of the pandemic, and here we are still. But even more importantly, here we are with Kim Jackson from Vermont Adaptive Ski and Sports. Miss Kim, how are you today?
Hello, I'm good. How are you? Love the intro. Love the mask.
I do. This is actually one of the best ones I have too. So
yeah,
there you go.
We like those. We scored pretty good with those, and they're comfy.
I think so too. I love them. I use it all the time. People are like, what's that? And I'm like, that's a very good question. So that's why I'm here to talk to you today. Let's get some answers to some questions for those who don't know. And we could start off very easy, like we always start off here. Who are you and what do you do?
Sure. So my name is Kim Jackson, and I am the Director of Communications and Marketing at Vermont Adaptive Ski and Sports. And for those of you who might not know who we are and what we do, we are the largest nonprofit in the state of Vermont to offer sports and recreation year-round to people with disabilities. Any ability, any age, everybody's welcome.
Awesome. So, wow, anybody's welcome. And we could jump ahead in my list of questions here. So it is anybody, not just competitive level, not just pro level, not just recreation level. You're literally everybody.
It is everybody. So we've had as young as 2 and 3. We've had, as young as 90, mid 90s. And I say young because why not, right? If you're still skiing or snowboarding, hey, absolutely. And then it's any disability. And we like to say all abilities because it really, everybody has an ability to do something, and you just have to make, your body work for you. So we look at each person's needs and then individualize our lessons and our outings based on those needs, whether it's a physical disability, cognitive, emotional, behavioral, developmental, we figure it out what you need, and then that's it. And we go and play.
Very good. Very good. Now, not to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, and I really don't. Now, when I think of something like the adaptive sports world, and I don't know much about it, admittedly, but immediately I go to physically disabled because we see that technology all the time. I remember my first run in with that technology was actually a quad bike, a mountain bike, quad cycle. First time I had ever seen one. It was the darndest thing. We sat there and talked to the guy for a good half hour, 45 minutes, man. He lost a lot of riding time that day because we're just gabbing, asking questions. But as you said, you go beyond the physical. There's other not things. I know what I'm trying to say. I think you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, there's other disabilities. I think the thing with somebody with a physical disability, whether it's an amputee or a spinal cord injury, they're in a piece of equipment that's very visible, whether it's a monoski or a sit ski or an adaptive mountain bike. It's visible. It's kind of got that sexy, like flashy thing going on.
I like it.
Majority of people who have disabilities, many of them are either a hidden disability. It could be a veteran with PTSD and you wouldn't even know that person has a disability. It could be, somebody who's on the spectrum. So it really ranges. And if you base the thought process on equipment alone, many of our participants are using equipment that doesn't necessarily need to be adapted, but the lesson itself needs to be adapted as to how we teach and play and do that. So it's a combination of both things, but very true. Big misconception. People think disability and they immediately think physical because you can see it. It makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's great though, that you go all over. So I assume then, not only because again, if you go immediately with the physical, that it's technology. It comes down to technology, and some of the technology is amazing. Believe me, especially in this era of lightweight metals, composites, everything else you could ever wanted, 3D printing, all this other genius. And I'm sure you put all this technology to work or work with those who do. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, there's equipment manufacturers for skis and bikes and all that kind of good stuff. For instance, our mountain bikes, our adaptive mountain bikes. If anybody's ever seen video or photos of somebody holding the handlebars and their chest down, so they're almost like going head first downhill. Our bikes that we have are built by a company out in Colorado called Reactive Adaptations, and that's what they do. They build bikes specific for people with either spinal cord injuries or lower limb needs, and that's what they do. And same for ski companies, same thing.
Very good. Now, to go beyond that, like you said, other disabilities, I'm sure that must come with different techniques. I would assume that's correct, right?
Sure, absolutely. So take somebody who might be blind or visually impaired. They are going to need some sort of guide to see the mountain for them. There'll be somebody either in front or in back, depending on where the athlete likes to have that person. And that volunteer instructor will be calling out, turn right, turn left. There's going to be a lip here, whatever the signals are that the person skiing needs to hear in order to be able to manage getting down that trail. So tons of nuances that aren't necessarily equipment related, and all of our instructors get trained for that.
That's incredibly interesting to me. What kind of training does it involve? Does it involve like typical, like in some cases that you do instruction? So, there's ski instructor training and ski specifically, but you do more than they are out there year round.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. And we have about 400 volunteer instructors. I would say about 100 of them maybe are our core people who are with us year round. And so for winter sports, we do an off snow training session that's virtual because of COVID. We do that in November. And then in December, we get on snow and actually have trainers come in and work with these volunteer instructors in different disciplines. So it could be visually impaired and blind. It could be mono ski lesson. It could be a lesson that has to deal with kids on the autism spectrum. It kind of runs the gamut. And then we do the same thing in the spring. And we'll do that again in June for all of our summer sports. And really, all we ask is that for winter anyway, you need to be an intermediate or above skier or snowboarder. So we really like somebody to come in and at least feel comfortable on their own equipment before they go out on a lesson and teach somebody else. And then for summer, it's really just, enjoyment and kind of understanding paddling and biking. And in the summertime, we get more people who have that personal interest or that personal passion, and they just want to share it with others.
Very good. Very good. Like I said, that is incredibly interesting to me. This is something where I've done work with children before. It's been very standard. It's just been cut dry. Don't even really need any training. You just have to know how to speak the language. It's very easy. This seems very specialized, and that makes it very, very fascinating. So if you do 400 volunteers for Vermont, that seems like so many people.
Well, so keep in mind, Vermont Adaptive is statewide.
True,
right?
true.
We're at 3 or 4 different locations in the winter, and then we're all over the state in the summer. And about half of the people that we serve and who come and play with us are Vermonters and live in Vermont. And the other half, 50%, it's tourists, because Vermont is a huge tourism state, right? So
Sure.
So it's a huge combination, and our volunteers are the same way. We have probably about half of our volunteers are from Vermont or live in Vermont, and the other half are either weekend warriors who want to give back and share their passion for skiing or whatever they do. So it's a combination there too. We have lots of volunteers who are from out of state.
That's very awesome. Like I said, growing up here, it's rural here in Vermont. We're very small, very, very small place. So when you hear a number like 14, that's just a 400. I don't know where I just got 14 from. Oh my goodness. Wow. It's going to be one of those kids. It's going to be good though.
Right? It's Friday.
It's Friday. Listen, Kim will carry the show. It's fine. Let's be honest. Doesn't the guest usually carry my programs? But 400 seems like so many, but then that just means you're doing so much work. Yeah. Like it's really wonderful. Now, since Ski Rex Media Snow Sports, 4 locations. I'm pretty sure Pico's one, correct. Sugar Bush is the other.
Correct. Bolton Valley ski area.
Love Bolton Valley.
And then we do a lot with Suicide 6 in Woodstock.
Oh, awesome. Love that too. I don't live far from there. That's pretty good. So I pushed the Indy Pass, 2 Indy Mountains there for you kids. Over at Sugar Bush too, you're getting a new facility. Like if you don't follow Vermont Adaptive, you can do that across social media, the big 3. And then you could see this facility, and I've been watching it all. It's been a while now. Well, not a while, but it's been going.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Has it?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yay,
no. Me. Well, yeah. No, we started like 3-ish years ago.
Okay.
And then COVID hit. So we were ready to go and ready to put that shovel in the ground, and COVID came around. So it's put us back. But yeah, so a while is true.
It's true. And that facility is going to be what?
That is, we're so excited. We're very excited about it.
Please, gush.
Yeah, we have a plan for 3 permanent homes here in Vermont. Mm-hmm. And we built a permanent home at Pico, the Andrea Mead Lawrence Lodge, about 6-7 years ago. That was our first permanent home. And Sugar Bush is our second. So it's a $2.5 million adaptive sports facility right at Mount Ellen, 3 floors, elevator, connected to their existing base lodge. And it's state-of-the-art facility. We've got program space. We have technical space for working on equipment. A sensory room for people who need to kind of get out of the fray because maybe, there's too much light or there's too much chaos and they just need a break from that. Administration offices. Our veterans program, which is also statewide, will finally have an office and a home, which will be at Sugar Bush.
Cool, man.
We do a lot of year-round programming in the Mad River Valley and kind of Montpelier, Waterbury area, but we haven't had that anchor home. So now we have that too. So we can start doing more hiking, and we definitely do a lot of biking and paddling. So very exciting.
Very exciting. It looks great so far. Like I said, I follow them, and I'm very interested in the work that Vermont Adaptive does because it's again something I know zero about. Like I know nothing about it. Let's see here. So that facility, it does look great. It's going to be great. It sounds like it's going to keep you all moving. Do you know where the next facility is? That's two, Pico and
Yeah.
Sugarbush.
Yeah, so the third one will be on the Burlington waterfront and bike
Cool.
path somewhere. We don't have an exact location yet. Sugarbush is supposed to open, or we will be opening, mid to late December for this winter. So once we get that behind us and get that off our plate, so to speak, we will head on up to Burlington. In the summertime, Burlington's probably one of our biggest locations, just because of everything that is up on the water and the bike path there. So the home up there will be really important as well.
Very good. Very good. So since you brought up how COVID-19 kind of threw the monkey wrench, as it did in the entire world. But the world, we all tried to keep the world turned as best we can. Did you all take a big hit? Was it something you could just, work within? How'd you do? And then how's it look like? How's it look like going forward? What's it look like going forward?
Well, so we took a big hit in the fact that we really couldn't serve many people. We serve a vulnerable population. A lot of our clients have, medical issues, and they really had to hunker down and stay home. So we closed when the resorts all closed in March of 2020, I think it was now.
Yeah.
We were right behind. So we closed our programs down that spring for the rest of the winter. And then I have to think now, we reopened in the summer, but very, very modified. So our instructors couldn't be within 10 feet. Everybody was masked up. Our clients had to bring some sort of companion or assistance with them so that we weren't having that close contact. And it really, unfortunately, because so many people couldn't participate, we really didn't get out very much. And then in winter last year, we had tons and tons of modifications. And then the vaccines came along, and this summer was a little bit better. We saw more activity, and we're super hopeful going into this winter. Right now, we'll still be masking indoors and we'll still be keeping distance. But for instance, last season, our instructors, we had protocols in place where our instructor would not ride the lift with a participant. The participant had to either be independent on the lift or have a companion from their same household. This year, we'll be back to normal. And our instructors will, for now anyway, as of today, be able to, be on a lift and things will feel a little more normal, hopefully. But we'll still be taking a lot of precautions. Like I said, we serve a population that can get sick pretty easily. So that's our, safety is our first and foremost.
Very good. Very good. And if safety can go, I'm playing the optimist this year. I saying we get through this winter and then it's done and we never have to deal with it again. I hope, I'm not saying I'm right.
Right. I hope you are right.
I hope so, because I'm done with it too. Everybody's done with it,
done. So done.
But thinking in the positive, and you all are doing your work, do you have anything special you're going to try and shoot for this year, or are you just going to try and go business as usual this year, or are you going to go really big this year?
We're going really big with opening a $2.5 million building.
That's true. Get a whole brand new building.
That's our big for sure. And, we'll just see how the season goes. Some of the programs that we couldn't do last year, we're hopeful we can do this year. We host I think we've hosted probably for the last 13 or 14 years, with the exception of last year, the United States Association of Blind Athletes, cool. Which is the training arm for the U.S. Paralympic for anybody who is blind or visually impaired. And so we do a big ski festival weekend with them at Pico. And, we're hopeful we're going to be able to bring that back this year. Again, modifications and probably not as many people, but some of those normalities that we've had in the past, we're hopeful too that we'll see those again.
That's very awesome. That's great. I hope you have a great year. I hope everybody has a great
year. Does. Yeah, exactly. Killington opened today, so that's big news. We got to love that. If the Beast is open, everybody's not far behind. So.
Oh yeah, the East is open, ready to rock. I saw some of the video coming out of there. So many people.
So many people. It was crazy.
Go get it, kids. Go get it. Be careful. Be safe. Follow the rules, but go get it, man.
Yeah. No, there were flurries at Pico the other day, and I know up north had some, I think maybe a little bit of measurable snow. I don't know. So it's here. It's coming.
It's I'm excited. I think everybody's excited
Everybody
because
is. Yeah.
it's going to be great. Now, to kind of go back in a circle about what I was saying about it seems like so many people, 400 for Vermont, because Vermont is small. Now, is there any advantages to being in a small place like this as opposed to, say, someone who's running a similar organization like in Manhattan that has like 8 billion people at it? Like, is that an advantage? Is it a disadvantage? Do you not notice?
I think from a tourism standpoint, it's an advantage because who doesn't want to come to Vermont? Like it's an awesome state. It's from a recreation standpoint, we've got everything here that you could ever want with water and bike paths and hiking trails and obviously skiing and snowboarding and winter sports. So I think there's definitely a vibe, as everybody knows, about Vermont, and people come here because of that, just to kind of get away from that Manhattan life or the craziness. And so for us, we serve a lot of those people, people who want to get away, and they may have a friend or a family who needs more assistance with skiing or snowboarding, so they can all come to us together and all recreate together, go skiing together, biking, and kind of get away from it all. I mean, Vermont it's the Green Mountain State, right? It's like, it's
Totally.
gorgeous every season, except for maybe stick season, but it's mud season. I guess say mud season too, but
mud season's a pain, but it's a pain for us with little cars. That's who it's a pain for.
But yeah, it's Vermont, right? I don't know.
It is. Like I said, it's very interesting because you guys do a lot of work from such a small place. Like, I'm from here, and I've seen most of the state, and anytime I hear about someone can do so much in a place that's so small, I'm floored by it, to be honest. It's like, wow, you get around what some people would consider a disadvantage. I've lived in cities, and they say, wow, what's it like being from up there? And, I try to describe it, but in the end, we can still do the same things you can do too,
Absolutely.
City folks.
And we still can go to the city and then come back.
Yeah, and we can come back.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're going to stay. I try not to be a jerk, but I do pick on the people who moved up after the COVID. And I'm like, you're not going to like it, man. You can't get fried chicken 24 hours a day here, which I wish we could, because I love the stuff.
Yeah, it is good.
But, that's not a slight against them. That's more of a slight against us being rural, but it's a lot of fun here. We do a lot of stuff. Let's see here. What do we got? What else we got here that we want to get into? Because I lost my train of thought a second there with that stupid chicken joke. Oh my gosh. Let's see. We talked about the advantages, the disadvantages, awesome in Vermont. What are some of the favorites? Like, I know we're talking about Ski Rex Media, talking about snow sports, but is that your big season, the winter stuff, or is it actually bikes or water, or what's the big deal over there?
I mean, winter's definitely big. There's no question.
Sure.
We do tons of skiing and snowboarding, and because we're at 3 huge mountains, we do a ton of it. Mountain biking is hot, right? Like, everybody is mountain biking right now. So we've been doing tons of work with VMBA, Vermont Mountain Bike Association. We've been out doing a ton of advocacy work with Stowe Trails Partnership, and working on the Katy Hill Trail, trying to work with these local organizations, Killington Mountain Bike Club, to build their trails so that they're accessible for these wider mountain bikes. Because an adaptive bike is, like this, whereas a regular bike is like this.
Sure.
Bridges and banks and different things on different trails are going to need, adjustments for a mountain bike that's adapted. So we've been doing a ton of that kind of work. And so I would say between those two, that's kind of where our hot spots are, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And like I said, the snow stuff, my first experience with it was bikes back in the 90s. Yeah. So there you go. I date myself a little there, but the snow work is ridiculous. Some of the stuff you see, the mono skis, the blind and visually impaired skiing, that's, I find to be the most fascinating thing in the world. Because skiing can be scary. So I can only imagine the first few times out, that's something if you can't see, not to sound ignorant of it, but just not having the experience of it. Do you have a lot of people who come in who are afraid to get into this stuff, because some of the sports, some mountain and outdoor sports are dangerous. Doesn't matter who you are. Skiing is one of them. That's why a lot of people don't like to do it, because they think it's even more dangerous than it is, but it can be dangerous. If that makes sense, I guess the question is to try and make it make sense. Is that part of the deal?
So I can't speak on behalf of somebody who has a different ability, right?
Sure.
But people are not defined by their disability.
Sure.
They're afraid if they want to be afraid, or they're not afraid if they don't want to be afraid. Just like I'm afraid of heights. Like I have red hair. I think it's really important for people to realize that when you see somebody ripping in a monoski, it's not inspirational. It's just really cool, because it's really cool to watch a really good skier ski.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think that's a big part of it, is just because the equipment looks cool, or somebody might have a bib on that says blind skier on it. I mean, so that's cool. I mean, it's no different than seeing somebody that doesn't have that bib on who's skiing awesome. Or, dare I say the jersey, the Joe that's coming along, it is what it is, regardless of who you are.
That's so awesome.
No,
you can. No,
I'm married to one, so I guess it's okay, right?
That's fine. No, it's funny because it's a joke, but the serious point is, and that is perfect. It's just somebody out there. That's it. Yeah. I mean, okay, sure, the equipment's different, so there is some curiosity with other folks who have never seen it. Ask your questions, be nice. But yeah, it's just somebody. Or
don't ask your questions, and just be like, "Hey, man, you want to ski?"
Yeah, even better.
Because that's what you do. Yeah. If you see somebody who's skiing amazing, you're either going to be like, "Oh my God, I want to follow that person," or whatever. Sure. So just do whatever.
Even better. Yeah. Absolutely. Even better. It's like I always say, snow sports are for everyone. Don't worry about the rest. Just go. Just go and be mindful
and
of
have
the
fun
weather.
And play, and just, it's about community and camaraderie, and everybody's out there because we all have that same passion.
Yeah, absolutely. See, that's perfect. I'm so glad you said it, because that's just another checkbox in our corner for those of us who say it all the time. Don't worry about the other stuff. Just do it. Yeah. Just stay within your, like I'm a groomer rider now.
Well, it's your comfort zone. I mean, certainly back in the day when I was skiing more and younger, I was doing stuff that there's no way I would do now. So it's your own personal comfort zone. It's how you feel. And and I probably ski differently with people who I ski with all the time versus somebody that I don't ski with very often, because I feel more comfortable with them. So it's the person.
Absolutely.
The person.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I get it. I have friends today who hate the fact that I just ride groomer trails now. I'm like, no. Steeps are for the young folks. Let them have it. The trees, let them have that. I'm just out here to get fresh air. That's all I'm doing.
Exactly. Little exercise.
Absolutely. So with so many volunteers, and again, you said for skiing, it was intermediate and up, type 2 and up, I would assume. You should never assume. I'm using that word way too much. So I wonder then, and again, I don't mean to be going around in circles here, but I did want to get into who could volunteer. And it comes from, I had to pull up one of your emails this morning to make sure I was on time and everything. And in the signature, it says, "Hey, we're looking for volunteers." That's what I'm getting at. We're looking. Yes. Intermediate skier, a lot of people can fill that gap. Then is it just the drive and the willingness? Is extra skills?
It's
not whatever.
Honestly, it's anything, right? It's anything.
Sure.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Just. It's one of those days, kids.
Yeah. No, honestly, it is anybody, right? If you love to do a sport, whether it's skiing or whatever, just come and share that passion with others. So if you are, a basic intermediate skier, we're going to train you, and we're going to put you out on a lesson that's appropriate for your abilities, so that you're not feeling overwhelmed with the participant. If you're an expert snowboarder, then we're going to put you on a higher lesson. And the training is the same way. If you want to train to, maybe you just want to shadow a lesson. So we have a lead instructor who is literally calling the shots on the whole lesson. And then there's usually an assist. And then we have people who are either shadows or blockers. So they're kind of around the lesson. And it could be from just one person sweeping behind the lesson, or it could be 2 or 3 or 4 people, depending on what the lesson is, just to kind of make sure there's space for that athlete to go down safely. So maybe you're a blocker, maybe you're a shadower, and you just want to be on that lesson and have fun and ski and make sure, everybody's safe. Or maybe you're super strong and you want to learn how to eventually tether using the straps with a sit skier. It really just depends on your, again, comfort level, right? The comfort level, and then your time. We have people who are doctors and nurses and PTs and OTs. And then we have people who are retired, people who are young adults or students who fit in lessons and volunteering in between classes. It runs the gamut. So wherever you can fit it in to share your love is what we're looking for.
Very good. So almost nobody turned away. If you can help,
you gotta be, and even, if somebody truly really wanted to volunteer and they just want to help, which is awesome. And we need more of that in the world today. There's plenty to do that's not on snow. And we certainly would love to have you too, because there's things that maybe not during COVID, because things are, we're trying to control our numbers a little bit, but as we kind of come out on the other side, we do 2 or 3 big events every year where we need tons of volunteers to pull those off. Those are fundraising events. So there's other ways of volunteering that might not necessarily be an actual sport, but you're still giving back to the organization, which ultimately is helping our athletes.
Very nice. Very nice. So there you go. If anybody's interested, how do they contact us? Through the website?
Yep. So the website, vermontadaptive.org, and up at the top, you'll see there are 3 buttons: reservation, volunteer, and donate. So if you click on the volunteer, if you're a new volunteer, it will ask you to create an account. And if you're a returning volunteer, then you can just log into your own account and simply register through the site. And then once you go through that, there's a little bit of a process. We've got a background check and some safe sport information. Our coordinators get in touch with you, and then the training begins and we get you out there.
That's awesome. So there you go. Anybody who can want now, or anybody who wants to try, hey, ask. No harm in asking.
Absolutely.
So now with volunteers, we don't have to get too into specifics about this, but now to make money, is that all donation based? Is that any other kind of based?
So Vermont Adaptive's been around for 34 years, I think. 1987. We were founded in 1987. Nice. And we have never turned anyone away based on their ability to pay.
Sure.
So all of our athletes, we do have, program fees, and they pay those program fees. But if they can't, we just ask, what are you able to pay? And we have scholarships because of our fundraising efforts to be able to do that. All of our volunteers are donating their time. That's why what we do works too, because we don't have those paid instructors. We have these highly trained volunteers who come back year after year after year, and they donate that time and talent, which is, priceless, right? You can't
totally.
But so it's super important that we have that core group that comes back all the time to be able to do what we do. We couldn't do what we do without them.
That's awesome. I have to say, amidst all these questions that I'm asking and whatnot, this organization seems to have everything together. I'm always impressed by an organization or company or anything of the like that has their act together. Oh. Like you have every answer.
Thank you.
It's just like if I was to, and again, this will lead to another question. Let's ask it first. Do you partner with anyone, or do you work outside of Vermont, or partner with anybody like in New Hampshire or Maine or New York or Mass or even Quebec even?
As far as adaptive sports organizations, we don't. I mean, we're all in one big bucket, so to speak. We all do,
Sure.
do what we do for the same reasons,
Mhm.
but every organization has a different model. Some organizations are part of the ski school, some adaptive programs. They're paid instructors right in the resort ski school, and it's a very different model than what we have. Some
Quite different.
places like National Ability Center, which is in Park City in Utah,
Mhm.
there, in my opinion, I look to them to be better because they are the creme de la creme. They're a big feeder for U.S. Paralympics. They have a lot of athletes that come out of there for the team, but they're more of a destination. You're going into Park City, and it's a little bit different. Whereas we are in this metropolis in New England, moving from New England and Mid-Atlantic states, so it's a little bit different. Everybody operates a little bit differently, but at the end of the day, we're all trying to accomplish the same thing.
Very interesting. That's interesting to me because, like I said, you seem like you all have your act together, and not just from talking to Kim here, but if you follow what they do on social media, if you read their website and news stories about Vermont Adaptive, it's just like, wow, you got it together. Like, if anybody ever asked me if I was somewhere else, I'll be like, call them. They know what to do. Like,
Great. Well, thank you. I'm glad we come across that way. I like to think we have it together, but
I think so.
good.
Very professional. Very professional. Like, it's not some kind of fly by night thing, and
Well,
it's
it
legit.
goes back to, 30 years, more than 30 years of growing and doing this. So I think we've kind of seen it all from the beginning. We started at Ascutney Mountain as the Vermont Ski Handicap Association. So
Sure.
it's grown, it's over time. But I would say probably in the last 5 to 10 years is when our biggest growth has really been. I think the awareness too, just in general, in our culture is coming back to that, Jedi and disability awareness, and it's more top of mind for people. People think about it more now.
I would agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. I would totally agree with that. Well, 30 plus years in, are we going to 30 plus more, another 100, forever?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know how I'll be here for as long as they'll have me. I know that.
Yeah.
But you figure we still have another building to build. So that's going to be in the next probably, 2 to 4 years, maybe. And beyond that, who knows where we'll grow. But there's tons of people that need our services, and it's so important to get outside and enjoy nature and recreate and exercise. It's good for the mind. It's good for the body. So the more people we can get out there, the better.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, we spoke about volunteers, and just ask and they'll see if they can get you in. And then you mentioned fundraising. Now you're 100% fundraising. That's how you fund yourselves.
No. So a lot of our funding comes from grants and foundations and larger chunks. And then
Okay.
approximately, let's see, going into next year, we'll have to raise from individual donors like you and me who might donate $50 or $100. We have to raise about $250,000 towards our programs and operations. And so we'll start that with Giving Tuesday, which people aren't familiar with that. That's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
You put away Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and you give back on Giving Tuesday. And we fundraise around that every year, and we usually have a match. And this year we have a collective match from 3 different donors for $35,000. So every dollar up to 35 will be matched.
Nice.
So we do a lot of fundraising there. And then towards the end of the year, everybody, does their end of year giving for taxes and what have you. And that's where we do a lot of our fundraising.
Nice.
And then, as I mentioned before, we have those 3 big fundraising events, the Vermont Adaptive Challenge, which is a bike ride. And then we have the Vermont 100 and the Vermont 50. And so those are, again, fundraising events that bring money in so that we can then do that pay to play if need be with scholarships and things like that.
Very good. And people like you and I, we could just, again, website, social media, you'll find all the information.
You will. Just go to vermontadaptive.org and donate at the top. There's a button up there.
Absolutely. Very good. That's excellent. So anybody can help in almost any way, which is also awesome. Like, it gets a lot done. And, adaptive sports, that's something I think, well, actually, I'll put it in the form of a question. Do you see any kind of hater stuff? Like, do people say this money could be gone, or money, services, instruction, whatever it is, could be better used? Do you ever hear anything like that?
No,
No,
not at
good.
all. No. I mean, what we do, it makes, it makes people feel good, and it's
Yeah,
community, and there's so many great stories. It's about humans and people, and yeah, no, there's no haters in our world. I mean, I'm sure
good.
there are, but we don't hear about it, and it's no.
Yeah, very
It's
good.
all about
Like,
getting people out there and having fun.
yeah, because you do hear in other realms like sports, the arts, and like school and stuff. Sometimes these things take a hit, and people are like, they don't mean anything, so they should take a hit. And I was like, I don't think that's true at
No,
all, dude.
well, I
Like,
mean, to be honest with you, last year for Giving Tuesday last year, which would have been, I think it was December 2nd last year, we were
sure.
in the thick of COVID,
Hmm.
and we had our best Giving Tuesday yet and raised over $135,000. So there's everybody, when the chips are down, people have come out of the woodwork to support us and get us through these times. We're super grateful, obviously, because we
Totally.
can do it without that. And no, it's good. It's a great community.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Because I always get worried, because I'm very much a hopeful person. I'm like, the world is not a bad place. The world is a great place. But every so often you get one or two people who has to ruin it for everybody. And nobody wants that for anybody, especially something like this, something I agree with, or not agree is the wrong word, but something I support very much. And I think it's great. Y'all do so many cool things out there. Do you ever, do you all ever get into the spotlight? Like, you're doing this, and this is far from the spotlight. This is just me, but people will see it. But do you ever get to go big into the spotlight with like maybe demos just demonstrations or anything of the like? Do you all get to get out there, if that makes sense?
Yeah. So that's kind of an educational component of what we do. We'll
Sure.
go to trade shows that are geared towards people with disabilities. There's a big national one that goes kind of like the Consumer Boston Ski Show. It's called Abilities Expo, and we'll go to that. We bring our equipment so people can see it and check it out and get a feel for what that's like. And we just try to do as much education as we can. If a school group calls and says, we're talking about sports and recreation in our gym class, can you come and talk to the kids about adaptive equipment? Sure, absolutely. Wherever we can get the word out that these things are available for people, we'll
Sure.
do it. Yep.
Excellent.
We don't really do demo. Like, we don't have like a fleet of different skis where you'd think of as a traditional demo day by Solemn or Elan or something like that.
Okay.
It's not where you come in or just rent equipment or demo equipment. You definitely come and do a lesson with us or an outing with us, having a
Very cool.
guide. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Just getting the word out. And that's why I was so happy when you emailed me back. I was like, yes, we could really talk about this.
For us, it's awesome. Anytime we can help kind of spread this word, it's great for us, obviously, because we want more people to know about these opportunities and what you can do here in Vermont. And yeah, so we appreciate being here for sure.
Absolutely. I think it's wonderful. Let me see. Excuse me. Let's see. Let's just do a fun one real quick. Have you had any pros come through that you want to name drop on?
So, Stephen Lawler, I don't know if you're familiar with Stephen. He is a Vermonter, went to school in Burlington and skied with us at Sugar and continued on his way out west and has been on the Paralympic team for I don't know how many years now. So he's kind of one of our big stars that went through the ranks and made it all the way to the big time. And we love to watch him ski. He's had a couple injuries the last couple of years, so he's kind of been not on the circuit as much, but he's been, Paralympics and World Cups and all that good stuff. So it's fun to watch him. And then there's another guy out there. Some people might be aware of him, Vasu Sohitra.
Okay.
He's doing a lot in the disability world. He is more of the extreme skier and hiker. And he was an intern with us at Sugarbush, and he's now lives out in Montana and travels all up in the western part of the country and is doing a lot of advocacy work, and he's awesome too. So I encourage anybody to check him out and follow him as well.
That's awesome. See that, everybody? Yeah, we're Vermont, but you got names and you got stuff getting done, and we're doing all kinds of things here, and it is awesome. It's awesome. Like I'm blown away. This is so cool to me. I think that's one of the reasons I keep biffing. I'm just too excited. I can't contain it.
Well, then you should come and volunteer. Maybe you should be a volunteer with us.
I might have to.
Yeah, that's the type of person we want, is somebody who's so into it and loves to ski or loves to bike. And it's just get out there and have fun.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about that after we get off after we turn off the recording, so we can really get into that real quick. And I won't take up all your whole day. Just a couple of personal questions for me. But yeah, there is so much going on. And again, I am maybe an intermediate, maybe nowadays. Definitely ugly. That's for sure.
If you're on groomers, you'll be fine.
Yes. That's the first time I've heard that in a while. Very good, Miss Kim. That is great. This sounds like it sounds so awesome. You do a lot of good work. I've heard about you even all the way back to a Scutney. I mean, I was little at the time, but I do remember. And everybody loves a Scutney. That place still gets a big draw for not being big anymore. And it's very cool. It's awesome that you're everywhere. Any kind of contact info you want to throw out for everybody if they have questions, or just go to the website?
Our website is where it's at, right? So vermontadaptive.org. If you go into the About section, you can learn about the staff. We're small but mighty, and the program coordinators, you can reach out to any of them if you had specific questions about being either a volunteer or coming to participate with us. You'll see their names listed there: Tom, Felicia, Molly, Misha. And otherwise, those three hot buttons at the top of the website: reservations, volunteer, donate. Those are the keys right there.
Yeah. Let's put it up here real quick. So there you go, kids.
There you go. Perfect.
For those watching the video version, but if you are listening to the audio version, links will be in the description. Reservations, volunteer, and donate. Everything is right there for you. VermontAdaptive.org. Easy to find. If you can't find it, I don't know why, but I'll even help you. It's, hit up Ski Rex Media. I'll tell you where to go. Well, thank you, Miss Kim. This was awesome. Very exciting. Very, very interesting to me. Definitely a pleasure. Again, very professional, very together organization. Like, they know what they're doing. They can get it done.
Thank you,
it's very
Tim.
cool.
I mean, I thank you for having us on it. We really appreciate it, and we love talking about what we do. So we appreciate the platform and the space to do it.
Excellent. Well, thank you, ma'am. I'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of this day. It's nice here. I hope it's nice on your side.
It is gorgeous here. So get out and enjoy. Only a few more stick season days, and then we're on the snow.
That is it. Thank you, Miss Kim. Vermont Adaptive Ski and Sports. VermontAdaptive.org. All the links and everything are down there. Don't worry about my tongue tidiness. And we'll see you out on the slopes. I know I'll be at Pico at least once. So
excellent.
I'll be there.
We'll see you out there.
Excellent. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And there you have it, everyone. The end of another fun and informative interview right here on Ski Rex Media. Thank you, Miss Kim Jackson, for being on the program. It was awesome. She's great. Really great person. Love it. So if you are, as I am, and like I said, I did talk to her afterwards about volunteering, fundraising, a few other things for a few minutes. If you are interested in donating, volunteering, more information, all of that, VermontAdaptive.org. For those watching the video version, you can see it on the bottom of the screen scrolling by. For those in the audio, just remember VermontAdaptive.org. Very easy. Or everyone can just go into the show notes in the description and you can get all those links. Remember, don't check the links. If you're listening in the car and driving, make sure you stop first. Don't touch your phone while you're driving. You'll get a ticket, and it isn't cheap. Believe me, I do know it. Thanks again to Ms. Kim Jackson and Vermont Adaptive Ski and Sports for coming on the program. Very interesting. We'll talk more with them during the season. We'll check in with them again. Get in there. Maybe we'll even get on ground level and see what's the what. Right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. #watching. Check out all the links in the description. Share it with your friends. Like, rate, 5-star ratings on Apple Podcast are appreciated. Why? Because I've gotten them before. That's right. 5-star ratings. Ski Rex Media Podcast. Thank you, everyone. I will see you on the next one. Have a happy Thanksgiving if you are a celebrator of Thanksgiving, or just have a good Black Friday weekend if you're not. Right. And Killington, shout out to the American women's skiing team. We're going to be out here at Killington running the Super G and the slalom. Michaela Schifrin and all of her teammate. Anyway, good luck to the American women who are skiing this weekend. All right. I'll see y'all on the next one later.